The search for survivors continues in Jagersfontein. 3 people were killed and many were left homeless after the dam wall collapsed. NPO Meals on Wheels Community Service is on the ground offering support. Joining me on Zoom is the organization's CEO, Nelisa Mabenge. Thank you very much, Nelisa, for speaking to us this evening. What have you seen is the reality on the ground for the many people whose lives have been turned literally upside down by this disaster?
Good evening to you and good evening to your viewers as well. We started making assessments from yesterday already as Meals on Wheels. We are actually the first responders on the ground, making the necessary assessments in terms of the displaced communities and families. We did return today after collecting the stats and understanding more or less what numbers we are working with in terms of the displaced families. So we have definitely fed hot-cooked meals to about 1,000 families today. We've also provided clean drinking water for them, about 1,000 bottles as well. We've also picked up a need for blankets. So we are busy collecting that at the moment. We're also going to be embarking on a dignity pack drive and sanitary pack drive, seeing to it that they are provided with the necessary necessities to get them through this very difficult time. So Meals on Wheels will still be on the ground for the rest of this week and actually until this disaster is over. We are a part of the disaster cluster, working very closely with the Department of Social Development and also with the presidency as well. So we were on site today with the president, who has shown high appreciation for Meals on Wheels arriving very early, making sure that we are assisting the communities that are in desperate need.
I wanted to touch base with you on the numbers, because that's something that we heard from Imtiaz Suleiman from the Gift of the Givers, that it's very difficult to assess exactly how many people have been affected. You say 1,000 families. Is that in terms of the people who are displaced? Is that 1,000 families? Roughly how many people are we looking at?
The numbers are still trickling in at the moment. We don't have definite numbers. The need arises as it presents itself. We are trying our best to see to it that as the need arises, we are ready to respond quite comprehensively and impactfully. Now, we had a meeting with the disaster cluster up till the early hours of this morning, trying to make the necessary assessments on the ground. So all we had from last night is that there are over 250 households that have been displaced. However, we are not clear in terms of how many members within each household that will actually amount to. But we do know from our stats that we have collected that we have definitely fed about 1,000 today. The need continues to rise in terms of the search and rescue operations that are on the ground. So we are also working together with other NGOs and helicopter services to make sure that we actually have the correct stats on the ground. But the numbers are still coming in. But Meals and Wheels is always ready. We are even now, the team is on the ground, making sure that we have the necessary packs in order to meet the need on the ground tomorrow. So we will be returning very early tomorrow morning, seeing to it that we are able to assist with the displaced communities on the ground.
We also heard from Gift of the Givers that one of the biggest needs is water. A lot of the water sources have been blocked. A lot of existing water sources have been contaminated. So you're saying you're also handing out water as part of your aid distribution. Tell us whether we've seen a lot of need in disasters in the past where people across South Africa have come together to send water to disaster-stricken areas. Is that going to be a need in this case? Can South Africans mobilize to try and collect water in this case?
I would definitely encourage that. Now, we are obviously meeting the current need, but the need is arising every day as the numbers are trickling in. So the fact that we don't have a definite number, we don't know what need we are going to be faced with tomorrow. I want to encourage communities, I want to encourage corporates, together with government stakeholders, to please partner up with Meals on Wheels so that we can be more impactful on the ground. But here's another assessment that we actually need to understand. that we can't look at this incident as an isolated incident. We are to actually be prepared disaster-wise for future disasters that we are going to have in our country. So we need to be disaster prepared in South Africa, because if you look at the likes of the global climate change that are actually affecting future disasters, this is how we need to make sure that we are prepared to respond as a country. So although this was a man-made disaster incident, it doesn't take away the fact that we are going to face future disasters. So it doesn't hurt to always prepare and stay prepared for future disasters that are to come.
You helped out in a big way with the KZN floods, and you're still distributing aid there months after that flood took place. How long do you foresee the residents of Jagersfontein requiring the assistance of Meals on Wheels community service?
The current damage is still being assessed at the moment. We know that there are a number of vehicles and also houses that have been massively damaged. I think in total now we're looking at 35 homes that have actually been damaged completely, that need to be rebuilt all over again. So as the numbers are coming in, I think probably later on in the week, probably midweek, we would have a more definite understanding in terms of how long our services will be needed in the Jagersfontein community. But we want to assure them that we will be here until this disaster is over. We will be making sure that they have the necessary hot-cooked meals, that they have clean water to drink, and that the dignitary and the sanitary packs are provided for them daily. We will see to it that they don't have to worry about such until they actually make their way back to their lives once back again.
Well, thank you so much for speaking to us, and thank you for the assistance you're giving to these community members in need. Meals on Wheels Community Service CEO Nelisa Mabenge speaking to us there.